drag queen, well, perhaps you're gay. Is there a point to all these fancy clothes? With all these buckles from your head down to your toes. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Is there something that you're trying to prove? With all the makeup and the way you move, are you looking for some sympathy? No, I'm trying to be the best girl I can be. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Like my martinis dry, cosmos I won't deny. Smoke those long cigarettes. Thank God I'm not dead yet. Done all these crazy things, short of a wedding ring. Just another girl.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Callista Solon, and this is NLC Trans. Tonight I'm here with my dear friends and co-hosts, Tara Alexander and Stacy Dozier. And you may have noticed I'm wearing green in honor of St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm also a bit dressed down. That's because I haven't unpacked my clothes yet. For those of you that didn't know, I've just moved. It just gone through a hellish 6 weeks of moving, and which is about what it took me. From the time I got the actual bona fide offer on the house to the time of the closing, which was yesterday, it was about 6 weeks. And I needed every minute of it. It was right up to the last minute, basically loading the car and going to the closing, and then collapsing. Last night I collapsed, basically. But it's moving is a hellish thing, and so I haven't unpacked anything yet, and which is why I don't know where my clothes are, I don't know where anything is, and it's just
Well, the moving itself is exhausting. You're carrying boxes up and down steps.
Yeah.
And either a few heavy ones or a million light ones, and I'm not convinced there's much difference between the two. And then, like we were saying earlier, living out of boxes,
yeah.
in my view, is one of the least comfortable things you can do.
Yeah, it's a mess, but it was something that I had to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's over with. The closing was well, Tara, you were at the closing. It was fun, actually. we had a good time at the closing, and it was good. So so now it's just a matter of settling in and unpacking and everything, and. But anyway, so that's sort of what's going on in my life.
Waving goodbye to one chapter.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a good thing. I loved the house that I was in, but it was in the middle of the woods, and it was way too big for me, and so I needed to get out of there, and I did.
Way too big for you, barely big enough for a band.
Yes, yes. And now that I am moved, and hopefully I'll have my computer set up very soon, I can start working on the editing, and we will get the show on soon with the band, with Leslie Ann. And that was sort of the last big hurrah for that house. We set up, we've talked about this before, we set up the band in the house and recorded some interviews and a bunch of band footage.
Woke the dead.
Woke the dead.
Yes, we did. We woke the dead. It was amazing. My ghosts actually threw a tantrum early the next morning because of it. They were stomping around the house. It was the coolest thing. So anyway, but it was it was great fun, and yes, it was loud, but we recorded it, and we're going to get that footage on for you very soon.
And probably worth thanking once again Leslie Ann Rios, Erica Watson, and Penny Larson for their long traveling, long distance traveling to get here to do this for us.
Erica came halfway across the continent just to be on our show, which was humbling to me.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. And we're definitely looking forward to hooking up again with them later this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, now that I'm moved, I'm going to get to work on that, and so we'll get that footage on for you, which was so cool.
Right.
I've been wanting to get that on as soon as possible, but moving has just sort of consumed me. Anyway, St. Patrick's Day, and which is kind of cool. Spring is coming. And
Ostura is just around the corner.
yeah, so I was sort of hoping that we could talk a little bit about the history of St. Patrick's Day. And Tara, you are our Irish person.
I'm the token Irish.
You are the token Irish. So
There's no Irish
so
here?
you're sort of elected.
Oh,
I'm only Irish by association.
to read, because of course I didn't have any time to actually prepare it. It was just print. Well, this is from the History Channel website, history.com, and they say about St. Patrick's Day, it's celebrated March 17th, the religious feast of the saint, and the anniversary of his death in the 5th century. The Irish have observed the day as a religious holiday for over 1,000 years. St. Patrick's Day falls during the Christian season of Lent. Irish families would traditionally attend church in the morning and celebrate in the afternoon. Lenten prohibitions against the consumption of meat were waived, and people would dance, drink, and feast on the traditional meal of Irish bacon and cabbage. There was an interesting thing over here from religionfacts.com, is it? No, I think this was from Wikipedia. On, well, a little history. St. Patrick's early life is born in Roman Britain in the 5th century to a wealthy Romano-British family. Grandfather and grandfather were deacons. At the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken captive to Ireland as a slave.
Wow.
It's believed he was held somewhere on the coast of Ireland, possibly Mayo. He was told by God in a dream to flee from captivity to the coast, where he would board a ship and return to Britain. Upon returning, he joined the church and studied to be a priest. In 432, he was called back to Ireland, though as a bishop, to save the Irish. And indeed, he was successful at this, focusing on converting royalty and aristocracy. And then the poor and common folk followed the lead of the leadership. Irish folklore tells one of his teaching methods included using the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity, the 3 blades of the shamrock being the 3 aspects of the single plant. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit to the Irish people, although one of the other sites said that story didn't appear till 1,000 years after his death, so I guess calling it Irish folklore is probably appropriate, but it's cute. Died March 17th, 461, and was buried at Downpatrick, so tradition says. The wearing of green, originally the color associated with St. Patrick was blue.
Wow.
However, over the years, the color green and its association with St. Patrick's Day grew. Green ribbons and shamrocks were worn in celebration of St. Patrick's Day as early as the 17th century. The wearing and display of shamrocks and shamrock-inspired designs have become a ubiquitous feature of the day. There was one thing in here, in one of these, that I saw real quick that talked about the wearing of green, that the shamrock was chosen initially as a symbol of spring, as an early blooming flower. The shamrock was already very popular and was sort of co-opted by the St. Patrick's Day festivals. But I can't seem to find that now, so.
That kind of thing happens a lot, though.
Yeah. But ironically, the first St. Patrick's Day parade was not in Ireland, but in the United States. Leave it to us to turn it into a party.
Sure.
Bigger
why not?
party. The first St. Patrick's Day parade took place not in Ireland, but in the U.S. Irish soldiers serving in the English military marched through New York City on March 17, 1762. Along with their music, the parade helped the soldiers reconnect with their Irish roots, as well as fellow Irishmen serving in the English army. Over the next